So I know many of you are familiar with C.S. Lewis's works, whether it's the Chronicles of Narnia, Mere Christianity, or my personal favorite, Till We Have Faces. But did you know that we have him to thank for Tolkien actually finishing The Lord of the Rings? So before I get to that point, a little backstory. Tolkien and Lewis met in 1931, and Tolkien was instrumental in leading Lewis into what he called the true myth of Christianity, where Lewis became a believer. So they moved forward, they became fast friends, they maintained a relationship for many years. They would meet weekly, monthly at a pub in Britain as the Inklings. They would share their stories, they would share their writings. They even challenged each other. Tolkien to write a time travel story, Lewis to write a space story. So we ended up with the Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis, Out of the Silent Planet, Paralandra, That Hideous Strength. And with Tolkien, he started writing something which eventually morphed into what the story of Numenor is. And I think it's in The Lost Road, The Histories of Middle-earth, The Lost Road, where there is a good chunk of what he wrote for that in there as well. However, what actually happened with The Lord of the Rings was that we have Lewis to thank completely for it. This is what Tolkien wrote in a letter in 1965. It's number 276 in the letters of JRR Tolkien. He wrote this: Lewis was a very impressionable man, and this was abetted by his great generosity and capacity for friendship. The unpayable debt that I owe to him was not influence as it is ordinarily understood, but sheer encouragement. He was for long my only audience. Only from him did I ever get the idea that my stuff could be more than a private hobby. But for his interest and unceasing eagerness for more, I should never have brought The Lord of the Rings to a conclusion. So if it wasn't for C.S. Lewis, we wouldn't have Lord of the Rings, we wouldn't have Middle-earth, we wouldn't have this entire world that he laid out for us. It is C.S. Lewis's encouragement to let Tolkien know that people would appreciate his works, because he looked at it as his own private hobby. He had a hard time believing that other people would enjoy the world that he created, the stories that he was writing, as much as he did. And so it was very internal for him. But if it wasn't for C.S. Lewis, we would never see it. We would never enjoy it. We would never know Gandalf. We would never know Frodo or Bilbo or Gollum. Can you imagine? So next time you read The Lord of the Rings, just, think about C.S. Lewis and what he did to encourage Tolkien, and there's a place in our lives where we are here to encourage others. So you see some talent in somebody, something nascent that you can encourage, do that, encourage them. Be a little C.S. Lewis to somebody else's Tolkien. Thanks for watching. Make sure you don't miss any future Torque Dailies by clicking the subscribe button and that little bell there. And you can also become a patron by going to theonering.com/patron, where you can join us in our Discord chats and our private live chats.